Hello, Daily Hopers. Debbie Samuels here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of all those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This is one of the most favorite verses of the Bible. As beautiful as it has caused some confusion and even struggle for some believers. Some have felt like the bad things in life have been dismissed with, it'll work out for good. Circumstances in life can be very painful and questions can arise of, I thought I wouldn't have to go through so much pain as a believer. Have you doubted the scripture at times in your life where maybe you felt like there was no good in the circumstances of your life? Well, let's look at what Paul is telling us. The verses before in chapter 8 are telling us that there will be suffering, we will be subject to death in our bodies, and there's a bondage of decay. But there are four truths to apply here from 8:28. Number one, all things happen to Christians. That means all. Our circumstances are no better than anyone else. Christians can make the mistake of thinking, if I love God, terrible things will not happen to me, or maybe they will happen less. Romans 8 and experience shows us that that's just not true. Number two, when anything is good in our life as Christians, that is from God. When circumstances go well, that is the miracle of grace. When we put the good things in the right place, it can change our perspective in the amazing grace that God gives us. Number three, when bad things happen, God will bring them around for good. Verse 35 says that trouble, hardship, persecution, poverty, famine, or even danger of being killed will be with us. But in all things in our life, he will work it out for good. Yet it may not be in our time, but in his complete time. To complete verse 28, the rest of the chapter is needed for perspective. We read that God is shaping us through all things into the image of his Son. And if God is for us, no one can be against us. And there is nothing that can separate us from his love. Looking for hope when our circumstances in life bring struggle is possible. God does not forget. He understands. He wants to give hope for good. And we can trust his promise for good. May God be with you the rest of the day.